am here today to talk about how to use Redesign with Prima products to line old ugly drawers. I got a dresser here this week. I found it for like 50 bucks. It is, it comes with a mirror, so it's really, really cute, solid wood, but the drawers look absolutely terrible. So I spent time yesterday fixing them. Hi from Romania. I've been to Romania. I spent about 6 weeks in Romania. We drove all throughout it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then we have another one from South Staffordshire. Hi, Anne. Thanks for joining. So if you've ever gotten a dresser kind of on Facebook or I don't know, thrift store or whatever, even on the side of the road, a lot of them can look terrible on the inside, but fine on the outside. So that's what I got. It was 50 bucks, and I thought I could salvage it. The inside, hi from Idaho, hi Debbie. The insides of the drawers, they weren't great. So you can see that they had some stains. The back of them looks like this, and they were kind of like bowing in the back. So and they were coming out. So this bottom part was actually sliding out. So yesterday what I did is I sprayed them. I cleaned them really well. They did have a musty smell. So to combat that, I used Murphy's Clean and Shine oil soap. So I sprayed it, wiped it out with a rag, dusted it, got, you know, kind of all of the surface level dirt. Hola, hi Edie from Mexico. But what I want to do is actually line the drawers. So, because they don't look so great, I kind of want to cover it up. It's sort of like putting lipstick on a pig. But Redesign with Prima has amazing products that you can use to line the drawers. So I'm going to show you hopefully 3 different examples of what I've used before. I would love to hear from you what you use and how well they work from you. Hi everyone. I think it's Katarzyana, maybe, from Poland. Okay, so I am going to start with one of my favorite products. It is the Decoupage rice tissue paper, and this one is called Fuchsia. It's absolutely adorable. If you've never used one of these before, it's kind of a thin, thick-like fabric. So it's, hey Sarah, thanks for joining. Hi Anne. So I'm going to use this to line the drawers. So how I start is I typically measure the drawer, the size of the drawer. So this one I've measured. Let's get this one. So this one is 27 1/8 inches, and then by 13 1/2. I cannot convert that to centimeters, I'm sorry. So before I actually start to line the drawers, I like to measure and then cut my tissue paper. You can actually put it in and then cut it from there, but I find it easier to do it before I actually line the drawers. So I've already cut this piece down to the width, which is 27 and I think I said 1/4. No, 27 1/8. So, okay, so I take this one Decoupage tissue paper. This is the old packaging. It comes in 2 sheets. The new ones are awesome. They come in packages like this, and then they're just 1 sheet, and they are 19 by 30 inches. And so all you less cutting basically. You don't have to line up the 2 pieces anymore. So that saves you time, and it just looks, you know, better with the end product. Okay, so what I do is I measure the length out for the width of the dresser. And so I said 27 1/8. So I come over here and measure and mark where 27 1/8 is. And then I come over here, do the other side, because I like to have, you know, straight cuts versus eyeballing it. And so this is 27 1/8. Then I take you can take a piece of wood. I have this ruler that I found somewhere for free. And I use that to serve as my guide. And so I mark, and then I cut it. So it's, you know, just a little sharp knife like this. And so now I have 2 pieces that are the width of my drawer. So let's move it over here so you can see it. All right, so there are different ways that you Hi, Tatiana from Slovakia. My family is, or my mom's side of the family is part Slovakian. So my mom says that I have, well, I get my body shape from that side of the family. Okay, so, and I've been to Slovakia. Okay, so in order to adhere, you can use multiple products. So this one, 3M Super 77, is very easy. It's a spray adhesive. Hey Judy, happy Saturday. Congratulations on your new horse. Judy she helps me with all my staging, so she's wonderful. I highly recommend it. Hi Teresa from France. I've also been to France. Love France. Okay, so in order to adhere this decoupage tissue paper, you can use this adhesive, which works great, and that's what I'm going to use today. Or I've also used polyacrylic. So polyacrylic is a water-based product. You could use it as a top coat. It also works great to adhere decoupage tissue paper. So if you're going to use an adhesive spray, I highly recommend wearing a mask because you don't want to inhale that stuff. So I'm going to do that, and I'll show you how I do it, or how I adhere it with the spray. Okay, so once you have that down, you just place it in the drawer. Now for the second piece, you just line up the flowers, make sure that you're doing it correctly, which I don't think I did. Here, I'll do it like this, it'll be fun. How is that working? Oh, I know, I cut it wrong. Oh well. Okay, so all right, if you didn't cut it wrong, there we go. So if you didn't, I accidentally cut this piece wrong, but it's totally fine. So, all right, because it's, you know, the back of the drawer and you can barely see. So if you, this is an extra piece, so I'm just going to use my knife again and just cut it. And you'll see if you use these this decoupage tissue paper to line your drawers, you can remove them easily. So if you don't like it, or if you want to change it up, or I don't know, something, you can easily remove them using this this spray adhesive. This is harder to remove. Hi Amber, thanks for joining. But with this, you can just pull it up and remove it even after it's dried. So it does stick really, really well, but if you do want to remove it, you can easily. So this is what it looks like. Looks pretty. All right, so that's one drawer done. All right, so I'm going to do, this is the second drawer, and you can see, staining and that kind of thing. So what I want to do for this one, and it'll be mismatched and kind of eclectic, which I like. So this one, I'm going to use one of our Decor stamps. If you haven't had a chance to get one of these Decor stamps, I highly recommend them. I call these like a big bang for your crafting buck. Okay, Amber asked, what spray adhesive? Okay. It's 3M Super 77. And it is multi-purpose adhesive. But it's extremely dangerous. Make sure you're wearing a mask with it, which you should all have. All right, so like I was saying, these stamps, I would say these stamps and the stencils are really, really good investment for your crafting buck. So these are one-time use. They look beautiful, super easy to adhere. But these, like stamps and the stencils, you can use over and over and over again. And the other thing is you can, all the pieces are separate, so you can create different patterns. So it's not like, you know, if you get one, it doesn't all have to look the same. You can, you know, place the little stamps in any pattern that you like, so you can change it up and it's not, you know, the same over and over again. So this one is called Springtime. And if you can see on my drawer over here, I'm using lots of flowers and florals. And my idea here is like this is grass and then it comes into the sunshine. And I have a mirror here that I also painted yellow. So everything is very floral. Amber says she's not gotten to the stamps yet. You definitely should, because they're awesome. And they're very easy to use. So let's get cracking. All right. So I like to use Fusion Mineral Paint. It's my preferred. It's since I'm in Canada, it is a Canadian paint. It is owned and operated by a family, and the woman, it's a family company, and the daughter runs it, and she's like in her 30s. So I'm a huge fan of women-owned businesses and women-led businesses, and that is one selling factor for me, but also another selling factor is it's great paint. It's mineral paint, so it is not as dry and chalky as chalk paint. And it has a built-in top coat, so you don't have to top coat it unless you put unless it's in like a high traffic area or you have a transfer over it. So, all right. Let's demonstrate with a stamp. Oh, and the other cool selling feature about Fusion is it's water resistant. So like no rings or anything like that if you accidentally put a glass down. And it's UV resistant as well. So you can put a piece outside. So that's also a nice selling feature. Okay, so whenever you do stamps and really any kind of painting, it's always best to do thin layers. Accidentally got one in there. Okay, so this one, if you can see from the picture, it has like vines and little birds and all that. So it's super duper cute. So I'm going to take this piece, and you can see it's clear. And that's a good thing because you can actually see where, you know, you're positioning it. And I'm going to put a thin layer of paint on my little stand here. Can you see that? There you go. So just roll on a thin layer of paint. And this is a roller that you can get from Redesign with Prima. I really like it because it's thinner than normal. Where do you buy the stamps from? Fusion? No, the stamps are Redesign with Prima. The Fusion is, you can go on the fusionmineralpaint.com and they have a list of retailers there. Okay. So that's about as much paint. So I am going to place it, and then you just kind of press it down. If you have a, there are like these little stamp blocks that you can get from Redesign with Prima on their website. Or you could use your hands. Like I do. Just make sure that you're getting, you know, you're squishing a little bit, not over squishing, because that'll make the stamp kind of spread out and reduce kind of like the crispness of the stamp. Now these aren't going to be perfect. This is a imperfect dresser. So that's what it looks like. Pretty cute, eh? Okay. All right. Where about you? Okay. Yeah. So let's just making sure that I'm answering the questions. All right. So let's do another one. And what I want to do here is just kind of fan it out across the drawer here. Just make it look cute. All right. Let's see. And this is the best part about these stamps is you really can get creative. And they're so flexible, so you can go, you know, over edges or anything like that. And like I said before, these drawers are kind of not the best drawers in the world, but you know, they're not super straight, but these are flexible. So you can see that. So you can, you know, bend them to however you need them, which is awesome. Okay. Has anybody tried the stamps yet? If so, what do you think? All right. Okay. Another one here. And again, this is like an imperfect craft project. And super fun. So this one comes with little birds. Are they cute? So just a little bit of paint goes a long way on these. Let's see. And these stamps come with a zillion pieces. So you can see here, this is all the little bits and pieces, and they're all separate. So you can do all kinds of things with them. I put them on I use this for the front of a dresser. It was just adorable. And to clean these, I just run them under hot water. So like chalk paint, Fusion is a water-based paint. So it reacts easily and it comes off easily with just warm or hot water. And then you just line them, you know, lay them out to dry. And then the little plastic sheets that it comes with, they re-adhere. So for easy storage. Or if you're like me and didn't realize that when you first got it, I just put them all in a plastic bag. So, and you can use different colors too on this. Like if you wanted to like make the birds pop or something like that, you could, you know, use a pink or for me, a yellow or whatever color you want, really, whatever matches your piece. Any questions? Okay, Dana just got, what's the name of the stamps and where can I order them? Okay, the name of this stamp is called the Clearly Aligned Decor Stamp, and it's in springtime. And you can order it on the Redesign with Prima retail page. It is, or you can find a retailer near you and get them from there. I mean, they're really awesome. I highly recommend. And you know, for those that just joined, what I was saying is, hey, Flippin' Fabulous, is they are a good bang for your decor buck, because you can use them over and over and over again. Someone one time was posted, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're, you know, X dollars for a stamp, but you know, I mean, you can have them for years. They're made of a high quality silicone. So, you know, they're not gonna go bad or anything like that anytime soon. Okay, I think maybe a few more and then we'll go to the next idea. So if you did just join, hey Vilma, I am rehabbing some old ugly drawers. This piece, it's sort of like an Eastlake piece, but just a very plain Eastlake piece. Eastlake is a style of dresser, if you're not familiar with the term. And I got it for $50, and it needed, the outside was fine. The inside, not so much. But it was like the drawers literally were coming apart. So I had to glue them all back together. I re-glued all the joints. So like, you know, the inside here, the back here, and then I put staples to staple the bottom piece to this piece so it wouldn't come apart. Because the bottom of the drawer kept sliding out, and so I needed to re-secure it, because if you know you're going to use it, you don't want that thing to come out. You know, the fun stuff that we do when we find a great piece of furniture and we already paid for it. Okay. Maybe one more bird and then we'll go on. So I want to use all the little pieces. So this is a tiny little bird. Isn't it cute? All right, maybe, yeah. Okay, this looks so cute. All right, so this is what it looks like. So while it doesn't cover up all of the bad parts of the drawer, it definitely looks cuter than it did before. Okay, so let's go to our third, well, there's lots of options, but let's talk about the third one, is the stick and style stencils. So this is what it looks like. So who's used one of these before? These are fabulous, easy to use, and all around great. This is called the Cornell Garden. As you can see, I have kind of an outdoor garden theme. So these two are also a very flexible, reusable product. So, you know, if you're not made of money or you don't want to invest in, you know, super expensive products, this is a really good option for you. And you get a lot of bang for your buck. So, again, I like to make sure your drawer is nice and clean. Oh, I've been wanting so much to try those. Amber, yeah, you should. So, let's see. This, I've used this a lot, but they, you know, they come in a bigger roll. I just have to find the end. All right, so here we go. Okay. So these are sticky. So it's like a big sticker. And why that is easy is why that is beneficial is because it sticks to the piece and reduces the amount of paint that gets under the stencil. So with other stencils that you have, you know, like this is a stencil, it's not Redesign, but if you have a stencil like this and you place it down, often the paint can come under it, and so it just creates like non-crisp lines. I find that this stick and style is really good for if you're like kind of wanting something that's like very crisp in terms of like the shape and there's no paint smears and stuff like that. This stick and style is great for that. Okay, so how I typically do this is I line them down. Okay. And then just make sure it's all nice and pressed in and pressed down, because that's where it's going to, or that's how it's going to prevent the paint from going underneath the stencil. Okay. So I measure it because I want it to be the full width of the dresser, or excuse me, of the drawer, and then I cut it, okay, or attempt to cut it. All right. Okay. There we go. And then what I'm gonna do is actually do 2 rows of this, and then what I'll do is like peel it up and then do a second 2 row, because I don't want to, basically just don't want to waste the product here. Because if you do 4 rows, then that's just more product. So you can pull it up and replace it easily enough. Okay. I'm going to overlap them just a smidge so it looks like a continuous flower pattern. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. And the other reason why it's good to have 2 like this is because my roller is thicker than the width of the stencil, so it would go over the lines, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. Okay, last thing before I get started is in case you don't want, the white stick and style is 15 feet long and reusable 3. Thanks for that, Roz. You can reuse them a few times, and they are, it's a lot in the roll. But let me get some painter's tape here. So if you don't want like paint on the sides of your drawers, which I don't, I would take painter's tape and line the sides here. This will prevent, because I'm going to use the same roller brush to go here, and I don't want the roller brush to hit the sides of the drawer. And kind of, just create a mess. So I just take painter's tape and tape over. And this is kind of thin painter's tape. I would actually recommend a bigger one. I think this is only like 1 inch. They have like 1.5 or 2 inches. That probably would create a, more space to work with, so you're not hitting the sides of the drawer. All right, and this is just the frog tape. I like the blue tape the best though. The Scotch tape. I just ran out. I did a dresser earlier this week and used it to create like a geometric pattern, which was super cool. Okay, so similar to the stamps, you don't want a ton of paint on your roller. And again, that's why I like these rollers, because they don't absorb a ton of paint like the bigger rollers do. So this is a normal foam Bennett brush, or Bennett roller, so you can see the difference in the size. I mean, it's pretty significant. And so you're gonna absorb more paint in this one. I do too. That's why I've always, okay, you've used these. So, anyways, this is why I like them. Okay, so once it's all adhered down and you've taped everything off that you don't want to get paint on, you just roll. So the prep for this is, longer than what it takes to actually do the work. But I've found that this is a great way to, get a lot of impact in terms of pattern and coverage for a lot less money. One other thing that I've used to line drawers that is also really easy, but it's pricey, is adhesive wallpaper. So I get it at, like, in the States, or it's called Home Goods. In Canada, it's called Home Sense. It's like a discount, you know, TJ Maxx kind of thing, but just strictly for homes. And sometimes they'll have the rolls for, like, you know, on sale. And I use that to line the drawers. It's not a Prima product. It's I get often, it's called Roommates. And it's great too, but it's like $30 a roll, and of course it's not reusable. These types of things are reusable. So you could probably use the same 2 pieces, definitely on one drawer, if not all 3 drawers. So again, if you get 15 feet, and I'm using 27 inches, so that's like, say, 2 feet. You know, that's 2 feet, and then now you have 13 more feet to go. That's a really good investment. So cost-wise, this is really good. Okay, so now that I have that row, let's take the tape off, and I'm going to reuse that same tape. Okay, and I'm going to try to pull this off, as one thing. Okay, all right. So that's what it looks like. Pretty great. And with Fusion, because the top coat's built in, you don't have to do any top coats. So, like, no wax, no polyacrylic, you know, no nothing to protect the paint. So once I'm done applying these and painting on these stencils, I just have to let it dry and then I'm done. And I'm not a retailer or anything like that for Fusion. Or, you know, I don't get any money for promoting them. I just love the paint. Okay. Oops. Okay. So one more row. And then we should be good. Okay, I'm going to use the same piece of tape that I did. I'm going to tape off the sides of the drawer so I don't get any extra paint there. Okay, tape it on the back. Hopefully, are you seeing that? Any other ideas that you have? Hey, thanks, Amber. Any other ideas that you all have found, or any products that you've used to line drawers that have worked really well for you? I'd love to hear about it. I've also used, on the rare occasion, I've used a transfer on the inside of the drawer. It was like pieces of a transfer that I didn't use. I used most of the transfer on the front of a piece, and then I had a few pieces left, and so I added it to the drawer. I've also used the regular stencils, so not the stick and style ones. I'll show you what that could look like. But some of the stencils, you just got to make sure that it, fits within the drawer, because I have a huge one that's, way too big to fit in a drawer. Okay. All right. Okay. A little piece of the stencil. Okay, there we go. Amber says she's only used a silk screen stencil by Dixie Belle. Printed tissue paper. Yeah, that's also another great idea. So I've used that as well. We sell, or Redesign with Prima sells tissue paper too. Where is it? So here's some tissue paper. This is the Finnabar line. I've used this on the outside for drawer, but it's super cool. It's It's like, you know, regular tissue paper that you would use like in a present, but it has a beautiful pattern. And what you can do is, if you're going to use a tissue paper like this, you can use polyacrylic, or you can use, polyacrylic, or you can use the adhesive, but you can't lift this up and move it. So you have to be very precise whenever you use tissue paper, because it's like once it's down, it's really not going anywhere. But then there's also, I don't know if I have any rice paper. I don't think I do. But this is adhesive wallpaper. So it comes, you know, it's thicker like this, and it's very durable and washable as well. So that's good if like you have kids and you want to line the drawers. That's an option. I got this from one of the Prima what are they called? Retailers, but it's not a Redesign product. It's just, you know, another idea. And then the other thing that I've used before, again, another kind of crafting, a bang for your buck crafting is a stencil like this. So it's larger than the drawer, but you can still kind of flatten it because it's super flexible. Hey Rose, is that the rice or the mulberry paper? Well, this is the tissue paper. This is decorative paper. So this is actually like tissue paper. I don't think I have any rice paper to show you. And I don't, none of the A1 papers I showed on this video. I don't have any more. I use them all because they're so amazing. When I got those, I put them on, I mean, it was like piece after piece after piece. I just fell in love with the A1 papers. I definitely want more of them. Okay, so if you do want to have, this is one of the new stencils that came out. Again, it's super flexible and it's completely plastic. So all you have to do to clean it is, again, run it under hot water. Sometimes I have to scrub the paint off of it, and I use like a green little Brillo pad, but it's a used one. So like, don't use a brand new one. I would use it a bunch and then use it, because you don't want to have, I don't know, any scratches or anything like that. So anyway, so if you are going to use a stencil like this, you can get it in there and fold it down and then either roll like this, or you can use a brush. But if you're going to use a brush, again, just dab the tip or the ends of the bristles. Don't saturate the whole thing. And I'll show you a brush that could work. So if you're going to use a brush, use a flat brush like that. So see how it's flat? That way you're just dipping, like, I'll show you an example. You're just using the very minimal paint. And then you take your stencil and then you dab it. That will take longer, but it's still effective. But I do recommend using one of these rollers if you're going to do stencils. It just goes by a lot faster. So those are some ideas and some ways that you can use the various Redesign products to beautify some, you know, ugly stained drawers. If they have a smell to them, I would use, this is cheap. It's $5.99 Canadian. It's probably cheaper in the States. It's Murphy's oil soap. While it is oil soap, I would clean it and then maybe wait a day and then use some TSP to clean it, or just like, you know, some sort of vinegar solution, just to make sure that there's no oil on your drawers to prevent any adhesion of the paint. But it does have a really delicious smell. That is a cheaper way to do things if you're on a budget. There are also salves that you can get. I have used, one option is And there's several. I've used Wise Owl salve before. It actually like moisturizes, so it's really great. Or I've used, this one's lemongrass scented. So any kind of wax or any kind of oil that's scented, it'll condition the wood. So it'll add moisture to the wood, because a lot of these old ones are quite brittle. The wood is brittle, so it'll condition the wood a little bit more, make it a little bit prettier and shinier, and also make it smell good. So those are my tips. I hope you found this useful. Again, my name is Connie. I am the owner and furniture artist behind Flourish, Your Space Thriving. You can find me on Facebook at Your Space Thriving and on Instagram at Your Space Thriving. So I hope you have enjoyed this, and I will see you not next Saturday, but the following. All right, if you have any other questions, feel free to direct message me or put a comment in the post of this live. All right, everyone, see you later.